Okay, hi guys. It's been a while. In this task, we're going to be doing the project 0x06 pointers, arrays, and strings. Okay, so basically, we've been doing pointers, arrays, and strings. I think 0x05 is pointers, arrays, and strings, and this one is just more on pointers, arrays, and strings. Okay, let's just quickly dive into it. I've already done the task, so I'll just be explaining the concept for you so you can do them on your own as well, and it will make you a better coder. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, you should just read the instruction. Majorly, you'll be using. Okay, so you're not allowed to use printf and put. Yeah, you're allowed to use putchar. Okay, so you can use underscore putchar, and then before you use this guy, you have to have declared it. So you can copy the other ones you've used in the past and put it in this particular file in order to use it. Okay, so main.c will be used to test your functions because you'll be creating functions most times. Okay, so let's go to the quiz through the quiz and then let's see. So I said, what is the type of variable? This variable, this, right? This one will be because it is a string, right? Because it is containing characters, right? So we call it character one. So that's the type. Okay, so why is it important to reserve enough space for an extra character when declaring allocating a string for the null byte of the end of string? When we declare a string like this, okay, so we have to leave one more space for a character called the null, and then once your computer reads everything in the strings and then get to that null character, okay, it will know that that string has end. Okay, so that's why we declare null character. So we have number two. What happens when one tries to dereference a pointer to null? So when we have a pointer pointing to a null, like the pointer is not pointing to a variable, okay, and you want to dereference it, you want to show what value that pointer is holding, it will give you an error, and that error is called segmentation fault. Okay, yes. So the next one, it says, what is the difference between the two following variables? So we have this one. Okay, so this one is pointing to null. Okay, and then this one is pointing to probably just uh, an empty string, a string, but it's going to have null as well inside, and then it's containing like almost nothing, but has been declared it has something. Okay, so it said the first one points to a 0 byte, the second one points to 0. Okay, and then the first one can be dereferenced. You can dereference this one. You cannot dereference this one because this one will give you that segmentation fault. Okay, so they're not the same and all this, right? So the next one, you say, what is wrong with the following code? If you look at the code very well, we have this one has been declared. We have a variable n 5, right? And then we have int of array of n could be 5, right? So 5 array, right? And int I equals to 3, right? So int n equals to I. So it said it is impossible to declare the variable array this way. Okay, so this array is correct, right? But this one, we didn't specify what data type is storing. Okay, so it is impossible for us to declare that way. Okay, and then what is wrong with the following code? If you look at this one, um so it is not possible to access array n. If you look at this guy, right, array n, if this one is array 5 equals to I, right, let's see, array 5, because it has not been declared, right, the array 5 has not been declared. So basically that's that. What is wrong with this code? And then this one, they have proper declaration. Yep, yep, n is 5, as you can see. If you look at this one again, So n is 5, right? So if this one is 5, right? So it means 5, we will not be able to access that 5 because we did not give space for the null, right? But this one, there's enough space. It is 10, and we are trying to access 5 out of this 10. Okay, so that will be done. Though the array will start from 0, remember, okay? But we are still trying to access the fifth one and the sixth one. This 5 is like the sixth element, which will still not be possible to get. So that's that. So this one, basically what you are now doing in this task, basically, okay, is that we have strings of words, right? These are strings. Where is it? Where is the first one? So basically, all you need to do is just understand these concepts that these are strings, right? So we need to now manipulate these strings, and in order to manipulate these strings, they are already declared function in our string.h, okay, in which you can use to manipulate strings, okay. So that functions that has been declared already, ALX is now telling you to manually declare your own, okay, like you should, like a function that adds two number. I think we did that one in one of the past projects. Okay, so there might be a function already declared that once you put two number inside that function to add it together, and then you are told to create a function that will add together. Okay, so that's what you are basically doing here. So look at this one. It says write a function that um, concatenates two strings. Okay, and then this, you see, we have this is the name of um, the the function. Okay, it's going to return a character pointer, a pointer to a character, right? And then these are the two strings. Okay, so these are two strings, okay, like the one we have above here. Where is it? uh, like this kind of guy, right? So these are the two strings. So the string will have this name, right? Okay, so those are the names. Okay, so these are the two strings. So this function appends. So you just need to know what does concatenate means, okay? And then the already declared function that performs this task is this string cat. So they are trying to tell you that you should create another function that acts like string cat, just like the way we created putchar and underscore putchar, right? So that's what they are just trying to tell you to do. Okay, so this function append the src, that's the source string, to the destination string, okay, overwriting the terminal null byte at the end of the destination. So you remember that if this destination string is holding some words like this, okay, remember that at the end of that word there will be a null character, right? So if this one too is holding another word like two, at the end there will be null. So concatenate means like you are joining them together, I guess. Yeah. So um you are to join source to destination, in the sense that that destination would not have, you'd eliminate the null of that destination, add source, and then put the null at the end, okay, and then add a terminal null byte. Okay, so you add the null byte at the end. Okay, so that's just what you want to do. You want to write a program that does that. Simple. Okay, so basically if you look at this one, we have our first string, right, hello, and then we have another string called word. Okay, so this is just a pointer declaration. So when they pass that our function that we'll be doing now, when they pass s1 and s2, we are concatenating these two things, right? When they pass it and then they print s1, print s2, print ptr. So this print ptr would have done that concatenation, okay? So which is the last one. So if you can see, the last one prints hello world, right? So I think, yeah, so it would join them together. Okay, so basically that's it. You are trying to do that. So let me just go into the code, and then I will show you how it is done. Let me see. Okay, good. Oh, good. I didn't know this code was open. Okay, OX06, right? Good. Ls. Okay, so basically I created the zero main.c, right? Your main.h, where is it? Main.h, you put your prototype inside, right? Which is this guy. Sorry, this guy. Okay, put your prototype inside the main.h, and then you write your code inside this zero string cat.c. If you've watched the 0x04, I think I explained all, I did the code along, right? So yeah, so let me just exit this guy. That one I was trying to solve that crack me project. Okay, so so let's see. So I'm vi in into, where is it, zero string cat. Okay, so zero str cat dot c. Okay, so if you look at it, right, we have what I first did is I looked for the length of the first string, I looked for the length of the second string, and then I declared an I to iterate through a particular string. So normally, most people will just add string.h and then they will use string length to find the length of dest and length of src. But I didn't do that. I looked for it manually as well. Okay, so we are saying that L equals to 0, right? We are saying that the length of probably destination equals to 0. So this place destination at index 0. Okay, you should continue adding the number of character in that destination till you get to that null. Okay, so this one would be holding all the character length, right? So this one has all the character length for dest, this one has all the character length for src, right? So the next thing we'll do is we now created a for loop and said I equals, we've declared I here, so our I is 0 as long as 0 is less than or equal to length 2, right? This guy. Okay, and then we said I plus plus. Okay, so as long as 0 is less than equal to the second length. Okay, so we are trying to go through the source. Okay, and then I plus plus. Then we now said that destination length plus I equals to source I. So basically what this place does is I'm trying to recall. Okay, so what this place does is let me see. Okay, this is the destination, right? We want to add source to destination, right? And then at the end we want to return that destination, right? So we said that destination length, if the length of destination is already 5, right? So this one will add destination at index 5 plus 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 I. Okay, okay, so destination at index 5, so this one is already at index 5, right? We've gotten to the end of destination, right? This one is the total length of destination, so we are now adding I to it. That is, we are adding new character to it, right? So we are saying plus I. So this I will go from 0 to the length of 2, right? And then that 2, that length of 2 that we are adding to this I, okay, we are giving it the value of this one as it's increasing. Okay, so let's say this src contains a word called string, right? So at index 0, which will be x, it will add it to this guy at index 0, right? At index 1, which will be t, it will add it to this guy till it add everything, and then it will return this text. I hope that explains it. So let's quit it. Quit. Okay, good. Yes. So basically that's that. I think this thing is actually explanation is taking time. All right. So let me just clear it and release it, and then that should work, right? So let's go to the second task and see what's going on. So write a function that concatenates two strings. Okay. So now I think we are adding two strings. Where is that guy? Okay, we are adding two strings, and then if you look at write a function and then you string cat. Okay, so you check the string cat function. It does what you want to do already. Okay, so you just see how it works. Check YouTube, check online, check string cat. What does it do? How does it work? Once you have that, break it down, and then you'll be able to solve it manually. Okay, so you're just trying to do them manually. Okay, okay. So basically, we have it's going to return a pointer to a character. Is going to this is the first string, destination string, second string, and then this is the amount of character I think you want to copy from this guy to this guy. Okay, so I think that's what string cat does. So the string cat function is similar to string strcat, right? I think the first one is strcat, right? Yeah. So strcat is, and this one is having n, showing that there's a number, okay, that you want to copy, except that it will use at most n bytes from src. Okay, so it's going to copy n from src, and src does not need to be null terminated if it contains n or more bytes. Okay, so return a pointer to the resulting string destination, so it's still going to return destination. Okay, so check on this string cat strn cat function, and then you see what it does. And if you look at our main, we have two strings here, right? And then when they give it to that our stuff, right, they give it to these guys, and they passed 1024 as the n value, right? So what does it does? So let's check the last stuff, and then it printed hello world, and then with an additional w, right? I can't really recall what that does. I think it prints 1024 should be. Let's once I dive into the code, I will see how it works, because those functions are just too much, and I am not probably used to all of them yet. Okay, yeah. So let me see. So vi strn cat dot c, right? Okay, good. So in this one, I checked length of destination, right? Okay, so I didn't look for length of source right now, right? So length of destination, I want to get the length of destination, and this is what I have explained in the last task, how to get length of destination. So now length of destination has been stored here, right? So we now have a for loop, and then we say I equals to the source at index I, as far as the source is not equal to 0 and I is less than n, I plus plus. Okay, so for this place we are saying that source at index 0, okay, this one is 0 for now, and is not equal to 0, is not equal to 0. Okay, and I is less than n, that is 0 is less than n. As far as this two is right, it should do this. Okay, and why are we doing that? Because we want to make sure that n is not 0. Okay, because if it's 0, there's no reason why we are copying a particular byte from here to this place, right? I think that 106 blah is a byte number, right? So there's no point copying n to this place, so n has to have a value greater than 0, and then src at index I must not be equal to 0 as well. So what we are doing is we are still passing src at index I to this guy like the previous one. Okay, so but the only difference is that we are passing it based on the number of n here. Okay, and then we are returning destination. I can't still quite remember. Okay, n is number of elements to concatenate from src. Yeah, I think that's it. It should be number of elements. I don't know why that one has 1000 plus, and then, but anyway, this is how it works, right? So let's just go to the next one. Okay, so yes, good. So let's go, and yes, and that should work. Yeah, this is it now. It prints one. This is it here. It's printing one. Yep. Let me see. Okay, look at that one now. We want to copy one word from, and then it copied LOW, right? One word, right? This one, 1024 words. I think I'm still confused why this one is. I can't remember. Okay, because it's been a while I did this task. All right. So string copy. Okay, string cpy, this is it. Okay, you're just trying to create a function that acts as a string copy. Basically, in real world sense, okay, you'd be using this string copy because nobody will tell you to be creating your function, but probably for you to know how it works, for you to know it in depthly, I think that's why you need to create all this function, because I'm very sure if you learnt it somewhere else or learnt it on your own, you won't be trying to create. Probably after a while you might be learning it. But let's just go into the task. Let me think I'm talking too much. Write a function that copies a string. Okay, so this one will copy a string. Look at this one, is having n, showing that it's going to copy n number of string from this source to the destination. So your function should work exactly like string copy. Okay, so the function library, this one, so man this guy to see what it does. Okay, so we have the first character, and then this one is not initialized with anything. It's just saying that it can contain up to 98 elements, right? And then this char pointer pointing to a character, and then we have an int I and blah 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 blah. So if you look at this guy, okay, so this is our pointer, and then they said pointer is returning pointer, right? Because they declared pointer here to be this, and then they passed this guy, and they said we are passing 5, this is the n number, and they are passing this word to s1, I guess. Yes, so check the output. Okay, this guy, yes. So basically this guy is string copy. Okay, let me just man strncpy. So that's what it was. Strncpy. Okay, good. So the string copies the string pointed to by src by source, including the terminated null byte, to the buffer pointed to the destination. Okay, the string may not overlap, and the destination string dest must be large enough to receive the copy. You can see that that's why they made that the string 98, so it can be large enough. Beware of buffer, blah blah blah. The string for copy function is similar, except that at most n byte of src are copied. Okay, so um basically that so let's see, right? So this one, I didn't look for the length this time around, and then what I did is I equals to 0. We look through the source. Okay, I think we are copying source to this guy. Okay, so we said as long as this guy is not equals to this one, and I is less than n, like we did before, and then we said you should, because we are copying based on n this guy, right? So you should keep posting source I so to destination. Okay, so destination, remember that this guy is empty. Okay, that's why we are not saying destination length. Okay, so this one is empty, so we want to copy this guy to this guy. Okay, so after that, then we said for I equals to I is less than n, I. So this one is just trying to put a null at the end of destination, because destination has to end with a null. Okay, so um, I equals to I. So we are saying that I equals to whatever I is here. Maybe I is 5 here already. Okay. As long as 5 is less than n. Okay. And then 5 plus plus. So I think if you go through this thing very well, because I have a call. If you go through this thing very well, you'll be able um to to see it. I have a call, and let me see. I can't pick it right now. Let me just leave it. Okay. So basically that's that, and let's just quit. Okay. So so the next one should be strcmp. Okay, strcmp is string. What would I call this guy? String, is it compare? Yes, string compare. Yes. So write a function that compares two strings. Okay, so it will compare this one with this guy. Okay, and then it will return an int. Okay, to return how many. If, for example, if you have work here and then we have work in the second one, okay, it's going to tell you that, okay, we have four character that are the same. Okay, so that's what string compare does. Okay, your function should work exactly like string compare. So if you do mass string compare, you should be able to see what string compare does. Okay, so for example, we have two words, right? Hello, right? Oo and ll, right? Which other word? I think just two, right? uh they are similar. So what they did is, okay, they give string compare to this string compare, string compare. Okay, and then we have minus 15, 15, 0. Why do we have that? And let me see. I think they mentioned it here. Okay, no, they didn't mention it. There's a reason why I'm coming. String compare. Why is this thing like that? Okay, let's man into it. I think we'll be able to see it. String compare. Okay, there. So okay, compare two strings, right? Compare two string s1 and s2. The local is not taken into account for a local awareness. Blah blah blah. Local aware comparison. It returns an integer less than, equal to, or greater than 0 if s1 is found, respectively, to be less than, to match, to be greater than s2. The STR solver is similar, except it compares only the first n bytes of s1 and s2. Okay, so I think that's what happens. So let me just I think we are in 3 string compare.c. Yes, so with this I think I'll be able to explain very well, because I can't quite remember all this stuff anymore. So okay, so basically we have I and we have O. Okay, so we are declaring this O. If you can see, that main dot h, I don't know, I think I went through it one time and it was clear, and then now I'm blank. There's something wrong that I'm not noticing here that made the output different, because these things are looking the same to me. I don't know if it's still the same to you. Yeah, because I think these, okay, yes, 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 look at it. S1, S2, S2, S1, S1, S1. Yeah, this is the stuff. I thought everything is S1, S2, S1, S2. So I'm confused. And yes. So if you are comparing LO and LO, right? LO, 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 right? S1, S1 is showing that they are the same, right? So S2 and S1, okay? S2 and S1. I think it's going to compare the first word with S. Okay, so H and W, H and O, H and R, E and W, like that, and then x1, I can't quite remember. So let's just dive into it and see. So basically I said when it is, when the it can see the value, right, it's going to return 0, and then we have 15 and minus 15, right? So what I did is I said, where is it? Okay, so we have the first string and second string. Okay, so we have, I declared this one, and then this I is for to go through the loop. I equals to 0, I plus plus here. Okay, so we are giving this B now, right? We are returning B to be 0 if everything goes well, right? So if not, so if S1I is not equal to null, that's it has not gotten to the end, and B is equal to 0, okay, then you should do this thing, right? Okay, so B is, then if S1 is not equal to this, right? So then B would be equal to S1I minus S2I. Okay, so we are trying to compare them. Okay, I think I'm trying to get this. I can't quite remember how I got this, but basically you can check YouTube and see how this string compare works. I can't remember. If I do, I'm going to quickly make another video for this guy, but it's quite very simple. I don't know why I forgot this guy, so it happens anyway. So just man into it and then check. Okay, and not only man, try and check YouTube and read about string compare. I don't know, I would have done that now, but I don't want to waste time. It's gonna waste our time. So for now, let's just continue. Okay, so I did this ones, I think the second deadline or something. Yeah. So this one, write a function that reverse the content of an array of a string. But look at it, it hasn't, it's having n. A is the array, right? N is the number of elements of the array. So if so, n is the number, so you have to take account of the number of elements of an array, and then it's going to reverse it. Okay, so we are still going to give a condition based on n as well, right? And then we are going to probably create a temporary stuff to hold it, and then we'll exchange fronts to back, back to fronts, like the way we used to do them. I don't know if that English is quite um, understanding to you. So as you can see, there's this array, and then when they reversed it, it's printing it from back, right? So just so we can use standard library. No. Okay, so what's the name? For reverse array dot c. Okay, so vi into for reverse array dot c. Okay, so this one is quite short as well. So we have our int I to be 0, temp. Okay, like I said, we are going to have a temporary, definitely. So temp, we have this is our array, right? And this is our number. So we said this n, right, array equals to n minus 1. Why? Because in an array we still have null, so we want to eliminate that null first, right? Okay, so if you have array of 8, it's going to contain 8 stuff, because we will still have 0 to start from to 7, 0 to 7, and then the 8th one will be null. So 0 to 7 is still 8 numbers, right? Okay, so that's why n become this, right? So we have a temporary, and then you see what it does later on. And then we have int I. Okay, we can just put int I comma here. We don't need to initialize it here yet. Okay, so for I equals to 0, right? As far as 0 is less than this n, so you want to go through this a, how many, based on how many times this guy is, okay, and then it's going to reverse it. Okay, so that's what we did. So we now created a temporary, right? So a at index 0, okay, that first number that is going to see is going to give it to this guy. Okay, at index 1 is going to give it. So this one will contain the normal arrangement. Okay, so a at index I, which is supposed to contain the normal arrangement, now we are now giving it a at index n, and we are n minus minus, that is a at index 8, a at index 7. So this one will be contain, it will contain it in reverse mode. Okay, so a at index n, which is supposed to contain the last one, will then contain the first one now. Okay, and there's a way to actually explain this, but because of time as well, yeah, let's move on. So you can just copy this code and then see, check chat GPT and let it explain to you. I think that would be better. Okay, so yeah, so let's go to the next one. And then, so this one says, this one now is different. We are now trying to mimic a function. Okay, so but we are still writing a function that does something. Okay, so write a function that changes all lower case letter of a string to upper. Okay, so if you see, we have a string look up and then it change it to upper. Okay, what is this guy called? String to upper. So if you look at the prototype, is going to accept a character pointer. Okay, return a character pointer. You can add a pointer name to it. Okay, so is this string to upper dot c? Okay, so as you can see, I added str as a character name for easy and simplicity and easy to access. Okay, so I did name a ceremony for it. All right, so we have our int I to go through the for loop. We are returning our string, right? Because we are converting that string to from lower to upper, right? And then you return the upper, right? So you go through that string from beginning to the end, and then you give it a statement to convert it to upper, right? And then we said if our string at index I, which is 0, right? Index I, we start from 0. So the first character of our string is less than equal to A, and it is greater than equal to A and less than equal to Z, then you should what? Set string I should then be equal to string I minus 32. So this minus 32 is using the ASCII value. Okay, ASCII value of small letter A should be probably 60 something. Like I think small letter should be 90 something, and then capital letter should be 60 something or for something or something like that. So the difference between capital letter and small letter is actually 32. So if you subtract 32 from it, you get the the capital letter, okay, of. So small letter is always higher, is 32 difference in ASCII from capital letter. Okay, so if I check the ASCII table now, okay, let me just quickly check. ASCII table, it should not be something that you should bother yourself about. It's something you can always check um, and use anytime. Okay, it's not running away. All right, but it's good to actually know it anyway. So if you look at the ASCII table, okay, let's see. I don't really like this guy. Yeah, I think this one should work. Look at capital letter A is 65, small letter A is 97. Okay, so we have 97 as A. 97 and 65, what's the difference? 32, right? So if we subtract 32 from A, it will give us capital letter A. If we subtract 32 from B, it will give us capital letter B. So that's basically how that guy works. Okay, so and then if this one become the second character, it's going to check again and then subtract if it is here. If not, it will go to the next one, and then once it's done, it will return str. Okay, so basically that is it. Good. So the next one says I'm tired already. So write a function that capitalizes all words of a string. Look at this one is kind of tricky. All words of a string, saying that capitalize each word. Like in your Microsoft Word, you have cases where you can capitalize each word. You look at this string, for example, and then we have it here, and then you can see when they execute it, E start from capital letter, T start from capital letter. So each word have been capitalized, the first letter of that word. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Okay, so um, so syscap string dot c. Let's do that. Syscap. Why can't I say syscap? ls. Okay, 6 vi syscap string.c. Okay, good. Look at it. I purposely use these things. I purposely use this mixed stuff here. Okay, so we have the prototype, right? I created I and j because we want to have two for loop, right? And then if you look at the question, it said those stuff, those capitalization should be based on this thing. It should be based on space, tabulation, new line, comma, semicolon, full stop, exclamation, question mark, quote, bracket, bracket, curly braces. Okay, so based on this thing, that is what you should use to capitalize it. Whenever it sees full stop, it knows that the next word that comes after capitalization. Whenever I see new line, it knows that whatever comes next is capitalization. Whenever I see this exclamation, whatever comes next is capitalization. Like that. Okay. So what we did is we declared a character array, okay, that holds all those things. 44 is I think space. Tabulation tab is 59. Okay, if you check that, I've closed that ASCII, you will see all these things there. New line, everything, all these guys have number. I used number before for everything, but it was too long for Betty, so I had to just use the character. So you can use character for all these guys too. So this new tab has a character ASCII value. New line has ASCII value. Okay, so you can put them. Okay, so we now said, so you remember that is this word, this is the pointer to the string, right? So as string I, so it's going to go through all the letter of the string, this for loop, right? Okay, so he said if I equals to 0, okay, so this is the first for loop. So if I equals to 0 and string I is less than a, and string I is, so this one is for the capital letter, right? So this one will turn um okay, this one is for the first one. We know that the first word has to be in capital letter, right? So when I is 0, that's the first character of this str. Okay, so I just automatically created for that first character first, okay, before we even go to any other one. So the first one has to be capital letter, so we do minus 32 and then it become capital letter. So for the other ones, okay, that is when we will now use this C array. So we now said for j equals to 0, and then cj, that's the character j, right? Cj, that is going to go from c0 to till it get to this place, and it will not get to the null. Okay, so c0 to this place, and then j plus plus, right? Okay, we will return str, right? So what happens here? How does this guy work to make the rest capital letter? So if c at index 0 is equal to stri, you get, if comma, okay, or this thing is at any of that string, okay, and this string I plus 1. We don't want to capitalize that guy. We are capitalizing the next word after it, right? So string I plus 1, right, is less than equal to A, and string I plus 1 is this. Then string I plus 1 should be equals to string I plus 1 minus 32. I hope you understand. So what we are saying there is that whenever it sees this guy, okay, so the next string, which is I plus 1, okay, should the next word should it should check if it is in between small letter A or capital or small letter Z. But if it is, then it should capitalize it. Okay, just that one, and then the loop goes on and on again. So this guy will finish, go back to this guy, like that, like that, like that, like that. So this one will execute. Once it's done, it's still inside this for loop, as you can see. So this one will go, come here, do. This one would, this for loop will continue, 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 continue. Come back to this for loop until everything is done and then return STR. Okay, so if you study on it again, you understand the guy very well. Okay, so let's go to the next one, number 7. How many is this guy? This thing is too much. Number 12. Wow, damn. Okay, so number 7. So we have to create a function. Okay, Mozart compose is sorry, write a function that encodes a string into 1337. Okay, this one is like an encoder. Okay, so it says that it should have a string, and then whenever you have a and capital letter A and small letter a in the string, it should replace it with 4. Okay, when it has this thing in the string, and then it, you should replace it with this. They know that you can say if it is equal to a and a, you should write, sorry, I'm trying to kill this dirty flag. All right, so yeah, you should return this, and then when they know that you can do that, they know that you can use switch statement as well. Okay, so they said you should not use it. Okay, you can only use two loops as well, so they are trying to limit you on doing the extra easy work. Okay, so you're not allowed to use ternary operation as well. So 7 lit.c, let's just see. Let me see that function again. So if you have, as you can see, this is the string, and then let's see one. Whenever we have L and L, you should replace it with 1. Is there L here? Look at that, capitalize, right? At that capitalize. As you can see, that's replaced it with 1 here. Lies. Can you see? And 3 with E, I guess. Yes. So that's what it's going to do. So 7 pi 7 lead.c. Okay, good. So what we did is we created two character array, right? And when we split, we placed them according to AA is 4 EE is 33, like that, right? Okay, so because we need two for loops, they say we can only use two loops. We cannot use more than, I think, one if statement or so, right? You see, we can only use one if statement, and that's what we did. Okay, so what we did now is we've created these two arrays, and then we said for I equals to 0, right? stri. So this one is going to go through this string, right? Okay, so it's going to go through this string. So while this is going to through the string, it's going to go through the first character of the string, and then once it go through, it will come inside this loop. Okay, then we initialize j. As far as cj, right, this one at A has not gotten to the end, J plus plus, you should come here again. And then if stri, this guy, is equal to strcj, okay? So if the string, okay, is equal to A, so if he finds A here, then he should do what? He should replace that string with D at index that J, okay? Okay, so I think that should just explain it, and let's just go to the next one. All right, so basically that's it. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Okay, all right, I hope this guy helped you. I just sincerely hope so. All right, so let's go to the next one and let's see. um, Number 8. All right, so this one is rot 13. Okay, so okay, this one too is not a function that exists normally. So write a function that encodes a string using raw13. Okay, I think raw13 exists. Click on it, you see what it is. I don't know. So we have the prototype. You can add your pointer name to this guy. You can only use if statement once in your code. You can use two loops. You are not allowed to use switch. You are not allowed to use ternary, blah blah blah. So encode a string using rot13. Rot13 is you need to understand what you are doing first, okay, and then you write it down, try and see how you can solve it, and then do it like that. Rot13 is a way of kind of exchanging a particular character, right? I think it's character array. Yes, a particular character with the 13th of the alphabet. So if you have A will be replaced with the 13th next alphabet. Okay, so that's basically it. So we are replacing it. So if you have a string, rotate by 13 places. Sometimes blah blah blah. It will that rotate by 13 places. Its R will be changed with the 13th letter, okay, or 13th alphabet. So 100 rot 13. So we vi into 100 rot 13 dot c. Okay, so good. So what I did is I first did ABC to Z and ABC to Z in small letter. Okay, so if you look at the 13th word, A, B, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So basically from A, and then the 13th word after A will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so N. So A will be replaced with N. It means B will be replaced with what? O. So from N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, Z, and then we have this ABC to M, right? That's why we have this one. And then the small letter 2 will be N like that to M, right? So we are going to do that. And then what we do next is we have two for loop, right? Then we have IJ. So I equals to 0. The string will go through the string, sorry, the for loop will go through the string, right? And then we have for another for loop. So when it has gone through the first character, it will check, okay, it will check if that first character is equal to C, right? And then it will replace, if this one and C is the same thing, then it will replace it with D, and then that's it. Then we return. Okay. Okay, so that's that. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one, write a function that prints an integer. Okay, so we have this guy, and then the prototype is this. You can use butcher. You're not allowed to use longs. Most time when they say you're not allowed to use long, just use unsigned integer, right? You are not allowed to use array or pointers. You are not allowed to use hardcore, blah blah blah. So they pass in all these stuff to the function, and then it reprints them out. Okay, so let's see. So we have 101 print number dot c. So we have vi 101 print number.c. Okay, good. All right. So basically, this one I try to let me say congest it. Okay, so here we actually use recursion here. We use recursion here. So you might not understand recursion right now, but I think tomorrow you'll be doing recursion, and then probably by then you'll be able to understand it. There are other ways to solve this task without using the recursion, but here I used the recursion. And recursion is just like a loop. Okay, it's a loop in which a function call itself. Look at this function here. It's calling itself here. Okay, so a function will call itself. So a function call itself and it keeps calling itself until one particular condition is met, and then it returns those value that has been calling since. Okay, so we have unsigned int, like I said, when you don't have long. So we gave this n, right, the number that you'll be passing to it, we gave it to I. Okay, so if you gave this guy 98, for example, so this I is holding 98, right? Good. So we now said if 98 is less than 0, is 98 less than 0? No, it will go here. But if, let's say, this n is minus 4, right, it means that it is holding a negative value, and this thing would only, this guy is holding positive, right? But this one is holding negative value. So what we do is, if this one is less than 0, it means it's negative. Then we underscore put char 45. 45 is minus. Okay, so it's going to print minus, and then this our I, okay, is going to give it minus that value. Okay, so it's going to print minus. So if it is greater than 10, then, right, that is, if that value that we pass to I can be divided by 10, okay, then we want to print the number. It means it is positive and it is greater than 10, that it contains 2 digits, right? Because we cannot print two or more digits. Okay, two or more digits, we have to use the division and the modulus to print the last number. So here we use modulus to print the last number. Okay, and then this recursion help us print the remaining number before the last number. Okay, so that's the simplest way I can explain. So if you have 564, so this one will print that 4, and then this one will print that 506, that's 56, and this one will please print the 4. Okay, so that's what it does. All right, so let's go to the next one. So uh, add one line to this code so that it prints A298. So if you open the code, this is the code. Okay, you have to add a code here in order to print this. So if you look at this code very well, okay, we've initialized n, okay, we've declared n, rather, we've declared n, and then we have an array a, right? We've declared a pointer, but the pointer is not pointing to anything yet. The pointer is not pointing to n. A at index 2 is 1025. So we want to change a at index 2 to uh, print 98, right? So you can just say a at index 2 equals to 98 here, and it will work. But they said you cannot, that you should not change the value of a, right? You should not touch a, because you can just do like this and write it there and it will work, right? So in next, so that when they execute it, it's going to print 98. So let's just see 102 magic. Let's see. So what you basically do, make sure you don't touch anything in the code, just add this guy here. And what this guy does is that, okay, it's this is not a good practice. Okay, this guy is not a good practice at all. The best practice is just to say index 2 equals to 98. Okay, so basically this is a pointer, right? The pointer is pointing to n. Okay, so what this guy does is that it shifted. This is a pointer, right? Okay, we are adding 5 to the pointer. It means it's going to go 5. It's going to go 5 bytes, or is it bytes? Yeah, 5 bytes in the memory. So it's going to go 1 2 3 4 5, and then it would assign 98 to that place. So they believe that that fifth position is where this A2 is. Okay, and then it's going to modify this 98. Okay, so it's when I try to Google find why is this done, but basically they just I think it was one AI that actually gave me answer to that, because basically everywhere was just saying modify A to be 98, and yeah, so good. So I think we are almost done. Good. A function that will add two numbers. Okay, this one is getting add two numbers is simple now, but why all this jargon star? So this a character, this is a character pointer. So where n1 and n2 are the two numbers, so this one is number one, this one is number two, is pointing to the number, right? Okay, so this guy is called infinite add, and you are saying he's going to add this guy. 1 plus 9 becomes 10, like that and like that and like that. Okay, so he's going to add that. You see that 9 plus 1 has become 10. 2 plus 0 become 2, right? But it is long, right? Okay, so let's just see 103 infinite add dot c vi. I don't know if I can still remember this guy. Infinite add dot c. Okay, this guy is too long. All right, it's too long. I think I opened it down here for you guys. Oh, it's not here. Oh, damn. It should be somewhere here. Let me see, capitalize each word in string. Okay, let me see if it's here. 102 infinite r dot c. Okay, it's not here. It's not here. All right. Okay, so basically, let me just kind of explain what this code does. So in this particular code, we wrote two functions. Okay, so the first function is, this is the main function that we created for that infinite add, right? This is it here. But at the top, we first did a reverse string to reverse the array. Okay, so we write a void reverse string, right? And int I equals to 0, right? So we declared this because we want to use while loop. We declared I and j to be 0, right? So we want to reverse string of n. Okay, so what is n here? Where is n? This n one into, okay, let's see. N. Okay, let's continue. All right, so we have a term because we remember whenever we want to reverse, we have to have a temporary, right? Okay, so we have while, and then we have a for loop, right? This for loop is for j, and then this I is for this guy, right? So as long as I equals to 0, right? So as long as the value of n, this one is value of n plus 1 plus 0. Okay, so it's going to go through the value of n. As far as it's not this, it's going to be increasing, so this guy will hold the value of n. Okay, and then it's going to minus 1 from the value, I guess. Yeah, so we have another for loop, and then j equals to 0. and j is less than I, j plus plus, I minus minus. Okay, so basically this one is where the reversal is done. Okay, so as long as j is less than I, okay, I is probably 5. As long as 0 is less than 5, it should continue this thing, the length, through the length of n, right? So it's going to give the value of n plus 0 to this guy. So it's going to give those first string of n to this guy. So it's going to give the n, the first string is going to give it to the last string, and then last string is going to give it to the first string. So this one does the reversal. Okay, so you can just copy this code, okay, and then give it to AI to explain to you, and then it will explain. This one is just the reversal. Okay, it's reverse the string, right? Okay, so this one is the main stuff for us, right? So we have the digits, J, overflow, we have the value 1, value 2, temp thought, like that, and we have some while loop. So I'll just basically give you this. So okay, so like that. Sorry. So you can check it out, and then like this. Okay, so basically I don't have time to actually go through this because it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I think when I turn on my PC, I've already draft out the explanation somewhere else. So basically I think it's reload and I can't find it anymore. All right, so basically let me just go through this thing one more time for you and then see. So we have n, where n1 and n2 are the number. R is the buffer that the function will use to store the results. Okay, so the results will be stored in this buffer. Okay, this one is pointing to that buffer, and then size r is the buffer size. So this one is the size of the buffer. Okay, the function returns a pointer to the result. You can assume that you will always get a positive this blah 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 blah. So try and read that one and see, because it's gonna waste our time. So noise is a buffer more effective than cubicles or boots, blah blah blah. Write a function that prints a buffer. Okay, so function must print the content of size. So this one is just 104 print buffer. Let's see. So if you need the code to that particular one, you can always just check this guy. You can actually check this account. Where is it? Yeah, Olaguro. Okay, and then go to the um, go to the ALX low level repositories, right, and then go to OX06, right, and then you go to 103. Okay, then you'll be able to see the code. Then you can copy it and use it. Make sure you understand the code before you use it. Okay, all right. So let's go. 104 print buffer.c vi. So this one is, it will print buffer, right? It will print buffer. This b is the buffer, size is the buffer size. It will return no, return void, right? All right. So here is the code. You see the code there too. Okay, so basically that's it. Let me see. 104 print buffer. So this guy, let me just give AI, because I mean I'm tired like this. It's too long for me to start. So it's just 50 line of code and it's quite short. So 50 minus commenting is probably 45 or 40, so it's not quite too deep like that. So let's give this guy and see for you to explain some stuff to us, okay? So I don't want, okay. So this is the code, right? We have int 0ji and o is given 0, right? So if the size is less than or equal to 0, then it should print new line and return, okay? So basically that's it. And then we have the while loop. We've set o to, because we want to use the while loop, o becomes 0 and then 0 is less than size. So basically we are using this size, right? So we are saying if the size is less than or equal to 0, it should just print new line, okay? If, remember this one is 0, if 0 is less than size, okay, it means size is greater than 0, okay? If 0 is less than size, it means size is greater. So we are doing for if it is greater than, and for that one we have these two giants loop, okay? So we have that. You can just paste it to chat AI and then it's going to kind of explain it to you. If you still don't get it, let me know in the comment section because I need to make other videos right now. And let me see. um yes, the next function enters a while loop here. So we are here that continue as long as 0 is less than size, right? This will print the buffer content in line of 10 bytes each until the entire buffer has been printed, okay? And then within the loop, the function first prints the offset 0 in hexadecimal format with 8-digit pattern. So just read this thing, is it sound confusing as well, but basically when it says hexadecimal format, yeah, it's talking about this, all these guys, okay? Percent x, right, is hexadecimal format, okay? So this one is hexadecimal format, okay? So if j equals to size minus probably 0 is less than 10, size like that. So just go through the code and then yeah, that will be all for now because I don't want to waste time.